Next up, we have Spring Festival from the Rolling Sky soundtrack. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what is happening here, musically. So if you like the sound of that, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, if we hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube before Christmas of 2025, I will play a single video game of the choice of the community. Members get early access. Artists I want to collab. I have a whole spiel for this at the end of the video, so stick around for that. Disclaimers showing on your screen right now, so go ahead and pause the video if you want to read them in full. Otherwise, let's do this. Spring Festival, let's go. Okay, so we start with a very quick intro giving us quite a few elements. We have what sounds to be a shamisen. Could be, no, it's not a shamisen, but it's like, you know, Japanese instrument giving us our initial motif being the smallest version of your musical idea, the essence from which everything else comes from. Of course, this being Spring Festival, chances are it's going to be one of those probably Japanese inspired. We're having some of the other elements giving us the accompaniment, of course, accompaniment being the backing band. You know, whatever is not taking the spotlight is in the accompaniment. So we're having this, and let's see, let me go back a couple of seconds. Let's see. And we bring in okay, this is awesome. So we bring in, of course, our drum beat, giving us a very, very nice, very solid, very nice and crisp percussion. We are having now the new melody, this version of the motif, being played in the way, being played by a flute, by this instrument. It's not the shamisen, it's the other Japanese one. One of those Japanese strings, and then I think there's a third synth playing it in what is called a doubling. Doubling is when you have more than one instrument playing the same thing at the same time. And this sounds really, really good. Let me hear a bit more, because then, of course, we have the bass giving us our bass line. Seems pretty nice and tight with the drums. Let me hear a bit more. Very nice. Okay, yes, and every once in a while, as a break, we are having this, it sounds like a harp, but it could be the Japanese version of the harp, giving us a downward going arpeggio. So, arpeggio is when you play a chord one note at a time. So here, for example, is C major. Here's the block chord. Here it is the arpeggio going up. Here's the arpeggio going down. So yeah, we're having now a downward arpeggio. Maybe a koto? Let me see. Maybe it might be a koto. Koto? Yeah, I think it might be a koto. The Japanese koto, this one, which is it's a really cool in between a keyboard instrument and a string instrument. It's a pluck string. Very, very fascinating. And I just love how so many of these traditional Japanese instruments are just the older versions of like bluegrass country instruments in the US. Like, you look at the shamisen. You look at the shamisen, and here you have this. It's really, really cool. Very awesome. Tell me it's not the predecessor of the banjo. Like, tell me the Americans didn't see a shamisen and was like, you know what I should do with that? Let's bring out and let's just make our own version of this. It's gonna sound American instead. And then yeah, like, tell me it's not like a deep south version of the same thing. So yeah, we're having these like downward arpeggios happening, not really as a response, but kind of like a break in between the melodies. And I really like the nature of this melody, because this melody is very nice and dynamic. It's going very much up and down in the scale. It's being played very much in staccato a lot of the time. So staccato is when you play in short bursts, right? So, for example, I'm gonna keep playing this one until somebody tells me which one this is, because I love this. So That is staccato. The opposite of staccato, of course, being legato. Legato when you let the notes play all the way through, you know. That kind of thing. And yes, we got the most random music in here. That such is the will of the wheel. So let's see where this goes. Oh, the bass is so... Okay, so something I have to bring up here is how tight the bass is over here. So whenever you have a bass doing a bass line, you want one of two things. You want the bass to be so tight with the drums, particularly the bass drum, that they're basically one. They're one in the same. They're breathing at the same rhythm. Like their freaking heartbeats are the same rhythm kind of thing. And then the other one would be complete syncopation. Syncopation, of course, wrong button. Syncopation being when you play offbeat. So would be to play against the drums or against the metronome. If you want to hear an example of an incredibly, just unbelievably tight bass line, listen to the bass solo of the track Goat by Polyphia. The bass, like the track itself is insane. It has so many incredible musical elements in it, but the bass solo in this track, it's a pretty cool bass solo, but every single note that the bass hits, so does the bass drum at the exact same rhythm, and it is so satisfying. It is so satisfying. And right now, of course, the beat we are getting here is a lot more straightforward. It's serving the function of a beat, but the bass is so well done that you barely even notice it. It's one of those things that in audio and music, in audio design and music, there are two really good scenarios in which you know you've done a good job with your design in the sound. Number one is when your player doesn't even notice it. When something sounds so good and so just right that it just sounds natural, and that your brain just interprets as it just is just what is part of this. It's expected of this. And the other one is when you are just blown away by how good it is. For example, the one where you need to have incredible sound design every single time is what is called Foley. Foley is the art of sound design for the mundane. So we're talking, if we have, let's bring it to the context of Rolling Sky, right? If we were to have here, let me see, what would be a material? Let's say one of these is actually a microwave. If one of these is a microwave, you can't just put the thing there and it's going to sound like a microwave automatically. You need to put in the audio for the microwave, which means you're either going to go put a microphone next to a microwave, or you're going to engage in Foley. And you're going to do what Foley artists will do, which is, like, for example, we can make, like, this looks like a sci-fi microwave. So it's going to be a different time. It's not going to be the same type of microwave that we have. So it's going to sound a little bit different. So then the Foley artist is going to come in and is going to say, like, okay, no, I'm going to need like a box of Tic Tacs, and I'm going to need like a guitar pick, and this is going to be the sound for like the internal knobs when they turn, right? So there we go. We're going to speed that up to like 1,000, like 100 times, so we get that sound and that kind of thing. And it's a very, very complicated thing. But if you do it right, not only will it sound very satisfying when you do it, but it's also going to be very good. For example, one of the most satisfying sounds that I've heard just in gaming that I've had ever, and this is an old experience from me, is in Dota 2. When you kill a mob, like one of the line mobs that you get, the generic ones, when you kill any of them, the sound that plays is like the sound of coins, because you get some gold from it, and the sound plays at the exact time with just the right amount, and it's just the right. It's so satisfying. And there are sounds like that a lot in games. I'm pretty sure, like, as soon as I mentioned something like this, everybody's gonna have their own anecdote of this one sound in this one game that they just love when it triggers, because it's so well made and it plays so incredibly well that you just immediately love it. That's when you know when your sound design is good. Right now, this bass line is giving me that sound. So let's see where this goes. So yeah, we're adding a little bit of staccato there. Ooh, a little bit of a grate there. New version of the melody. On principle, it's the same thing. So we're doing a variation of the same melody, just on the slightly lower register to make it a little bit more contrasting. We're still getting the same downward going arpeggio to make it. It's either an arpeggio or a glissando. So a glissando is a slide, basically. So if we were to do this on the piano, it would be me taking my, like, just finger out, note, and then just sliding, right? That kind of thing. Of course, I am not a piano player, so I don't know how to make it sound good. In a harp, it would be to just play all the strings in a row. In the koto, it would just be to just play them around, and in this case, going through all the notes, that kind of thing. So it could be that, it could be an arpeggio. I think it might be a glissando. Let's see where this goes. Very, very nice sound design. New version, higher up. And this, now the melody is a little bit syncopated. Now the melody is syncopated to the drums. So now it's not playing on the beat of the drum. So before that we were doing on beat, which is when the drums were hitting, we were having the melody. Now we're having the melody being syncopated about like half a beat. And that bit over there is already giving that extra sense of pacing, that extra sense of motion that you're gonna get, which for a game like Rolling Sky, like I've never played this game, of course I haven't played a game, I haven't played anything in my life, but you know, it's that sense of continuity, you want to keep pushing forward, so giving you that sense of extra motion from the music will also subconsciously help you push forward, and it's gonna be very synergetic with the game. Let's see where it goes. Very nice. We get a little break over here. Off the ramp we go. Off the ramp, of course, being a colloquial term that I use. Colloquial. Colloquial, by that I mean there's no official academic definition for this, or at least I'm choosing not to use it for the sake of simplicity. And off the ramp is what I call a transition. It can be as short as a couple of beats. It can be as long as an entire section. And the purpose of it is to make your listener feel suspended up in the air at the mercy of inertia, waiting to see where you land, kind of like going off a ramp. How do you do that? Rhythm with the drums. Maybe the bass as well. Is exactly what happened over here. Let's see where it goes. We introduce a piano now. We're having stingers from... Okay, so we have several things going on. We have the piano now taking on the melody. We now have another instrument over there giving us a polyrhythm. So, polyrhythm is the idea of rhythm against rhythm. This can be done in many different ways. The one that is being done right now is basically superimposing conflicting, what's it called? Conflicting rhythms, right? So, no, Crocs, thank you for the membership, appreciate it. So yeah, polyrhythm, like the simplest type of polyrhythm, of course, being when you pin individual groupings. So 3 versus 2 polyrhythm, of course, being the simplest one, or one of the easiest ones to remember, right? So let's say we have this beat going in 2, and then we have this one going in 3, right? Or let's do G. And if we play them both together, we have that going on. However, the one we are getting right now is in a more macro level. We are going in terms of the time signatures. So a time signature, let me go back a step, right? So in music, you have 3 elements: melody, harmony, and rhythm. Melody, of course, being your individual horizontal lines of music, harmony being your chords, and it gets so much more complicated than that, and then rhythm being your use of time. How fast, how slow things happen, when they happen, beat, that kind of thing, which is then subdivided into bars or measures. Those are the same exact concept, which is then determined by a time signature. Your time signature is going to be two numbers, upper number and lower number. Upper number is going to be the number of beats that you're going to have in your measure. Lower number is the type that your metronome is going to count them as. In English, it's pretty easy to remember, right? So whole notes is determined by number 1, half notes by number 2, quarter notes by number 4, eighth notes by number 8, 16th notes by number 16, so on and so forth. One whole note contains two half notes, one half note contains two quarter notes, one quarter note contains two eighth notes, so on and so forth. So, look at JJ, he's listening to the song and not explaining anything. They didn't even say bless you when you sneeze anymore. They just look at you like James when he's listening to the song and not explaining anything. There you go. So, so then, yes, in the case of 4/4, we would have 4 quarter notes in the measure, which your metronome would count 1 through 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you can try different combinations, right? So a polyrhythm in this case would be the way that is happening right now. We are having the melody happening in 4/4, and then on top of that, we would be having a separate rhythm going on in a different time signature, adding up to the same amount at the end of the combination. So let's say we have two measures of 4/4 being played right now on the bottom line, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on top of that we decide to add a polyrhythm, which is going to be it's going to add to the same number of quarter notes at the end of the second bar. So in this case, we could do, I don't know, we could do 3/8. So 3/8, so that gives me a 1.5. So that gives me 3/8 notes per bar. Then we just repeat that over and over and over again. So in this case, we would need probably a third bar. So while that's a 5/4. So while one is going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, the other one at the same time is going to be going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, while the other one 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're having so it would be 1. No, I'm confusing myself. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 4, 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that there you go. It took me a second to visualize this. So while we are having one going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, the other one is going to be going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's gonna, and of course the individual pairings and everything, it can make it sound very complicated, but it's something along those lines is what we are getting over here with this polyrhythm. Robert, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Mosh Pit. Welcome today. How you doing? So yeah, very long explanation for this because I got lost in my own thoughts. So let's see. Nice. I have no idea what Jack in the Box is. Let's see where this goes. So you can hear it. Oh, and I did not mean this. It's the same polyrhythm I just explained. So it is the 3/8 being done over the 4/4. That's a game? Okay. Yeah, I don't know anything, dude. I'm extremely ignorant. So yes, we're having this happening. I was not expecting this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Now we bring this new version of the drums. And now we engage in a little bit of instrumentation. We swap the Japanese traditional instruments for the for this synth, giving us a new variation of the melody. So, ain't it a restaurant? I don't know. I don't live in the U.S. because I think it's in the U.S., but I don't know. Zigo, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Mosh Pit. Welcome today. How you doing? Let's see where this goes. Spring Festival. It's kind of catchy. It's a very catchy. It's a very, very catchy melody. By the way, technically speaking, this is not a song. Songs have vocals and lyrics where the vocals and lyrics are the driving force of your music. In this case, this would be an instrumental piece or an instrumental track. However, colloquially, we just call everything a song because it's easier. So, yeah. But yeah, this is a very catchy melody, primarily because it's very dynamic. In this sense, it's a very, very dynamic. The beat is very, very lovely. It's easy to understand. Now, here's the thing for composers. One of the key things you want to keep your music is as simple as you can. Because what makes your music stick with people? If they can remember it. If they can hum it. If you make a melody that somebody can hum, that's it. Especially if you make it catchy. If you make a catchy melody that people will end up humming, that's it. You gave them an earworm, and now the song is stuck with them. They have to listen to it. They have internalized that music, which, you know, for artists that do, you know, progressive music and that kind of thing, that's like looking at the more complex things. Yeah, it's like an exploration of music, and it does have a market to it. However, the reason why pop music is the biggest industry in the world when it comes to the arts is because of that. Because they create catchy melodies that people can hum and people can remember easily. And that and therefore, they will keep coming back to, because you go to what you know. You listen to what you know. You fall back to what you know. So there you go. Anyway, let's see where this goes. And something else that makes these kinds of melodies very lovely is that in the East, particularly, you know, Japan, China, these places primarily use what is called a pentatonic scale. Pentatonic scale. Now, in the West, of course, we use as the catch-all for all scale, we have the chromatic scale, in which is going to be all 12 tones of music as we know it. And that's going to be all black and white keys of the keyboard. And then out of these, we take a formula, because each individual interval over here is called a semitone or a half tone, which is the smallest interval between notes in Western music. And you take a specific formula, you know, whole semitone, whole tone, semitone, to create something like a major scale. There's a mathematical formula for this to make this. However, these scales are made out of 7 notes. Then you have the pentatonic scale, which takes 2 notes away. You take the 2nd and the 6th away, and you end up with the pentatonic scale. So we bring the pentatonic scale, which is less notes, which means whatever I make is more likely to be simpler. And if it's likely to be simpler, it is more likely to be catchy. And that's how we end up with something like this. Let's see where this goes. And we're just repeating the motif. We'll just keep repeating the motif. Little going off the ramp moment with the shamisen and the koto there. Very nice. Oh, it's a very lovely climax. Because now we have a variation in the drums. The drums have shifted a little bit, not enough to give it a completely different feel, but just enough to sound different. The drums and the bass are still just as tightly knit together. This is really good. Let's see where it goes. I missed the track. The synth here is manipulated in a way that is going to sound a little bit more like some of the Japanese instruments we've been hearing. So yes, the mix for the synth over here is going to be leaning more towards that crispiness, that higher sounding of instruments like the shamisen or the koto or the flutes or whatever, giving you an extra layer of it still belongs. So I would say this is absolutely intentional. I would not call it a flaw. I think this is made for the purposes of emulating a digital version of the Japanese traditional instruments. That's why the synth doesn't sound quite the way you would probably mix it in the West, because this track, if we have it, as if it hasn't been obvious enough, is leaning very heavily towards those Japanese conventions. So let's see where this goes. Going up and down with that melody. Now we're in the outro territory. How are you gonna end this? Alright, we change the instruments back. We bring back the Japanese instruments, giving us those up and down arpeggios. And... no. Fuck. No. Stop! Okay, and there you go. So it fades away. That's not a fade out. That is a fade away, just a degree above that. Sorry, I clicked on the wrong spot and it resulted. So, yeah, it fades away, which means that last phrase would have been playing infinitely. I'm not a big fan of that, but it is a way of ending. I think they could have ended it without that final tail, but whatever. Or you can just play one last note. It doesn't matter. It was still a good track. There you go. That was Spring Festival from Rolling Sky. So I would say it's probably due to game, like something from the game, most likely, that resulted in the track being cut where it was, because it seems like there's a certain amount of time that you're allocated in the game for the level, and it goes from there, right? So there you go. That was Spring Festival from the Rolling Sky soundtrack. I still liked it. It was like the melody was very lovely, very, very. There's something about Japanese melodies that use the pentatonic scale that it's just very lovely. It's just very, very lovely. So there you go. There you go. Spring Festival from the Rolling Sky soundtrack. Once again, everybody, this has been a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here has been to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what's happened here musically. So, if you're watching this on the YouTube video archive thing, thank you for watching. Make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, if we somehow hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube before Christmas of 2025, which not that likely, we're in November already, still possible. If it happens, I will play a single video game of the choice of the community live on stream, whatever y'all want, on top of the fan fiction, of the fan fiction audiobook, on top of the giveaways that we've been discussing and that kind of stuff. So anything goes as long as it's within terms of service, of course. So yes, this has to be achieved through legitimate and honest means only. No account duping, no botting, no buying followers, no alt accounts, no rat behaviors like that. Go share the videos, the streams with your friends, with your families, with your family's friends, with your friends' families. Those are two very distinct concepts, by the way. With your online and offline communities, go share the videos with pretty much everybody you know. And use the hype function on YouTube. It's the last video of the day. I'm my brained. Use the hype function on YouTube. I don't know how it works, but we have a group on the Discord that does. Link down below. Go coordinate with them. Let's see. Artists. I want to collaborate with anyone and everyone. Any artist on YouTube, I want to collaborate. So if you want any of my musical skills, whether it is my guitars, my Mongolian throat singing, the good old kind of thing, or regular singing, or any other musical skill, just reach out. Let me know and we'll make it work. And if you're in the audience and you know anybody who could benefit, let them know. And yes, please do not harass anyone. Please do not spam anyone. Be cool about it. Don't be a rat. Members get early access to the content. I schedule the videos for the week on Saturdays, and if you're a paid member on YouTube, regardless of your tier, you get access to the videos when I schedule them, at least for the LFAs. So become a member today. If you want to listen to this without me interrupting every 3.5 seconds, I will be linking in the description down below. If you want to request a song and you're not on the live stream, check the pinned comment on this video. It has the instructions on what to do. And if you want to catch the streams when they happen live, we aim for Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Central European Time. If you are not in Europe, do not worry. We have the full up-to-date streaming schedule showing in your local time zone. So if you live in Wild Rose and you're like, yeah, but what time is 6 p.m. in Hungary? I don't live there. Do not worry. We have the full up-to-date schedule in your local time zone in both Discord and Twitch. Both are linked down below, and it's going to show in your local time zone. And follow the gaming channel. I have a gaming channel because, of course, I have a gaming channel. I'm on YouTube. What else could I possibly have? Games are Basterd. That's where I put the gaming after show recordings when they happen. We record them live on stream as an after show, and then the recordings go there. Link down below, or just search on YouTube. Same username as James R. Basterd. Just swap the J for a G, and you got it. And yeah, there you go. Spring Festival, Rolling Sky. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. But yeah, let's move on.